Friendly reminder, you are more than your physical body. You are more than the thoughts happening in your mind, the feelings that are happening in your emotional state. You are an energy system. And in your energy system, you have a body and you have thoughts and you have feelings. And so, join me now in a brief overview of the chakras, the energy systems of your body, how they work, and let me introduce you to many more videos on the chakras and how best to understand them. Okay, first things first, my name is Salima, yoga therapist. Thank you for making your way here. This is part of an ongoing series. We're introducing you to Kundalini Yoga and all of the benefits and all the things that you can learn along the way. And in this particular video, I want to focus on the energy systems of our body, how it works, and how Kundalini Yoga helps and how you can gain the benefits. Okay, so let's start here. We are energetic beings. In other words, we have energy that is fueling our thoughts. There is energy between all of the synapses in our brains. So those little connecting pieces, the way that pieces inside our brain connect with each other is through energy. And our emotions carry energy. So that's the first place, broad overview. In the world of yoga and meditation, in particular Kundalini Yoga, there is a system that has come to be codified called the chakras. And the chakra, a chakra is a Sanskrit word for wheel. And the chakras are 8 energy systems that are mapped onto the body. They don't actually exist within the body, but they are mapped onto the body, showing the movement of energy through all of these energy centers. The energy centers start at the base of the spine, and one by one, in the colors of the rainbow, come all the way up to the top of the head. And then the 8th one surrounds our body. That's called the aura. And these energy systems show us how energy is moving. So it's like this, in a very similar movement to the DNA helix. So energy is moving in that way. And it shows us where energy might be slowing down, where it's running fast, where it is perfect, and where we can offer some adjustments in our movement, our breath, our meditations that can start to help to balance this energy. Each of the chakras has attributes, has a sound connection, has an affirmative connection, has negative tendencies, and all of those characteristics are also what we embody as humans. Just take that in for a moment. Look at how complex we are. Not only are we an organic organism, but we also have a coded system of how that energy flows. And I want to remind you that this understanding of the chakra system came from a time well before we had diagnostic imaging, MRIs, or photoelectric photography. So, what the ancient yogis knew is that energy was flowing through us, and we could enhance that energy or minimize that energy or shift that energy through the use of mantra. Remember that sound is a frequency, and that frequency, that energy is very influenced by sound, which is why oftentimes we get triggered by a tone of voice or a sound or the fact of singing. The next part is that we know that our bodies are very sensitive to how we breathe. We've talked about that in a different video. We're also sensitive to how movement impacts our mobility, how movement affects our moods and our way of thinking about things. And so that's the basis of how to think about the chakras in terms of your Kundalini yoga practice. Now, here's the caveat. Here's something to really focus in on. The term Kundalini I've defined before as a consciousness, human consciousness. And in the ancient writings, that consciousness, that element of Kundalini resides at the base of the spine. And it is through conscious effort, through deliberate movement, through yoga, meditation, breath work, through spiritual readiness, evolutionary readiness, generational readiness, that energy starts to move and it becomes a energy in addition it's in addition to the energy that's already flowing. So in other words, think about an electrical plug. Right now I have plugs in my office, and if nothing is plugged in, those plugs are just sitting there. Okay, that's kind of like the Kundalini in our bodies. If we don't plug anything in, then nothing really happens. They're just sitting there waiting. As soon as I plug in something like my charger, then that energy starts to flow. And that flow moves into my phone and it charges my device. And then all of a sudden I can use that device. Now, similarly, if if I am diligent and consistent with my practices, my Kundalini yoga practice, then I can start to set the stage for this energy starting to be more available to me. And that energy is in the form of these chakras. Okay, so the energy starts to flow a little bit more readily. I have greater access to my intuition. I have more conscious control about my emotional state. And I can use my mind to help me navigate different things instead of just freaking out and like having a triggered response somehow. I can actually rise to the occasion. And the way this is done is through the chakras. Now, you don't have to know which chakra. You don't necessarily have to know, oh, I want to work on that chakra. Although if you do a little deep dive, and I've provided you with that information below, then of course you can go and research, and that's really a fun process. But really, functioning in the background of everything, including what I'm doing right here with you and you listening, is engaging our chakras. And so, what I want to do with this short video is to remind you that you have access to that stuff, to that consciousness, to that energy. And a little bit of applied practice will allow you to tap in, tune in, turn it on, plug it in, and know that you have remedies available to you that may not be existing in your day to day life. Okay, so what we know to be true is that things like our phones and our television sets and shopping and gambling and drinking and some forms of eating, they take away energy. And what we want to do is restore that energy. And a way to think about restoring that energy is with fueling the chakras. The way to fuel the chakras is through sound, breath, meditation, movement. And all of that is found in your Kundalini yoga practice. Take a look at the description box. There are links to other videos that I've made that are longer length about the chakra system. And you can also check the link above. Okay, so that's the chakras, a really powerful way to gain insight into why certain movements really help, and then also to start to flow more with the energy that you already have. Lots of love to you. My name is Salima, yoga therapist. Thank you for watching. And as always, drop a comment below. Where are you watching from? Love to hear it.